Okay, so a little while ago, I was watching a movie, definitely cannot prove it's Scott Pilgrim, and one of the characters was using this giant hammer as a weapon, and I'm like, you know, that's actually really cool. I kind of want to do that. But, yeah, you know, giant hammers don't really work very well because, you know, hammers are heavy on their own. Even an 8-pound sledgehammer is kind of hard to wield after, you know, a couple of swings sometimes. And it only weighs 8 pounds, let alone some sort of giant mallet. So, anyway, I got these wooden slabs I'm going to glue it out of, which is considerably lighter. And since this is hickory, it's still fairly dense and will take a beating and give a beating to fruits and vegetables and maybe a concrete block if I'm feeling, you know, ambitious. But we'll see about that. Now, I really wanted to make this out of, like, you know, a block of concrete or, you know, like a solid chunk of steel. But unfortunately, I am not some sort of like movie or video game character, so I'm bound by the laws of reality, and I don't want to throw out my back. So from that, I'm going to cut these into, I decided, 10-inch chunks that I'm going to basically laminate together. I'm going to have a slot cut out for this. This is a axe-eyed maul handle. It's, yeah, there's the dimensions right there. All that. I got it at a hardware store. It's the best I could find. I want something a little longer, but the only thing longer was shovel handles, which wasn't very good. So, also, I'm going to remove the coating on this, give it a nice burnt look. You know, give it the, you know, playing with weapons treatment that I give to most wood, which is set it on fire. I don't have a problem. Okay, so here we have 6 pieces of 1x hickory. Gonna make my hammer out of it. Now, I went ahead and went 11 inches. I don't actually remember what I said originally. It might have either been 10 or 11. If it's 10, throw that out. I used 11. It just looks a little better. Ultimately, it's gonna be decently heavy. I mean, this isn't unwieldy, of course, but it's got a little bit of weight to it. But now all I have to do is find a way to attach the handle. I'm not sure if I chose the right route, but it's the route I decided, so I'm sticking with it. Basically, I have my little area there cut out, same size or roughly to the this little piece here. This will be what actually goes into your maul. So I have that traced out. I'm going to have to sand this down a little bit, but I always have to remove the polyurethane coat anyway, so that'll be fine. But if you can't tell or didn't know, I mean, you probably know if you have one, it kind of has this teardrop shape. And my main issue was trying to figure out how to get the teardrop shape into this. Originally, I was going to have this being one solid piece instead of sandwiching between two. Just cut that out and make like shims to put in it. But it was going to be a little thinner, so I decided to make it 2 pieces. And again, I don't know if this is going to be the right route, but it's the one I took. I'm going to take a detail sander and carve in half of the teardrop shape into both sides of this, stick this in, cover it all in glue, and just glue it together. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I made up my mind, so that's what I'm doing no matter how hard it becomes. Plus, it's expensive, so I'm sticking with it. Quick note, be sure you label these, so that way you know where the main face of the hammer is. I mean, if you have a sledgehammer, it really doesn't matter because they're symmetrical. But since this one very clearly is not, one side's gonna be strike face, the other side's not, label it so that way you don't have 2 pieces that are exactly the same and have to start over. Again, wood's expensive at the moment. So that was actually about what I was expecting, which is rare, but still more work than I would have wanted, but it seemed to work out well, so I'll stick with it. I just said so like 5 times there. Anyway, basically now all I have to do is glue all these pieces together. Originally, I was going to take my handle and glue it in too, but the way it fits, I think I'm just going to like hammer it in later with glue and then pin it. I don't know what I'm going to use for a pin yet. I'm making this up as I go, like I usually do. But basically what I'm going to do is just take some wood glue. Really, any wood glue will do. I've had good luck with this stuff, so usually it's strong. It's labeled as being stronger than the actual wood itself, and I can confirm that does seem to hold true. I've used this stuff and other stuff too, and I've had wood, including hickory, break before the bond does. So just gonna use that. You know, cover this area. Make sure to leave a little bit of space here, so that way I don't get glue in here to hinder me adding the handle to it. And then just clamp it all together. Make sure everything stays even. I mean, for some reason, no matter how hard I try, I can never get the ends to stay even. But I am gonna make sure at least the edges are even, because they should be uniform. I should have just got a big jug of this and just dumped it. Would have been so much easier, but no, I just had to get what I needed, so I wasn't wasting a bunch of it like I always do. So I'm making more work for myself in the end, jeez. Oh well. All worth in the end, always is. Thank you to all my lovely subscribers and anyone else who clicked on this video. Plus, you know, giant hammer. Giant hammers are always awesome. Okay, so now that I have everything in one large block, a lot of glue, it's gonna be a mess to clean up, but hey, that seems to be fairly open. Not that I can see in it very well. But yeah, now I just have to let this sit till tomorrow, because this glue takes forever to dry. What should I do until then? Okay, now all those boards are just one giant block of hickory. It's got a lot of glue that needs cleaned up, so I'm gonna do that. Also need to clean up all these uneven edges, get everything sanded smooth. I really don't know the best way to do this, to be honest. I'll probably, you know, combination of belt sander, hand tools, sanding it by hand. I don't really know, I'm just kind of making it up as I go, as I often do. So I'm basically gonna start by taking my hand saw and just kind of trimming up bits and pieces here and go from there. This is why I don't usually do a lot of woodworking. Crafting steel is so much easier. Okay, finally got it shaped. I ended up having to go to the store, buying some of those. Benefits of going to work the next time. So this basically is ready to final assembly, really. Gonna put wood glue on this, a little bit in there, shove this in there, drill a hole down and put a pin through it just to make sure it doesn't come out. I might put steel bands around it, but the more I'm looking at it, the more I don't think that's necessary. I'll probably just look dumb if I do that. So, gonna, put on a bunch of glue and drill a hole, I guess. The nozzle was clogged. Okay, so glue's dried and this is now pretty solid hammer. Got a bit of a mark on. Didn't sand that off. I took the flap disc and sanded off some of the glue. Not all of it, of course. Have to hit that again. But basically now I just have to put some aesthetic touches on it, of course. Since it's hickory, I'm going to burn it, give it a slightly singed look. And of course I'm going to burn my mark on it. It's just one I made from steel. I'll stick it in the forge, heat it up, burn it into both sides, center, make it look really nice. Then, of course, torch it, give it a nice light burnt look. And I'm going to give it an attempt with this red mahogany wood stain. I wanted something with a little more of a red, but still definitely brown. And this seemed to fit the bill. Hopefully it stains. I've only had iffy luck with hickory. Oak holds it pretty well, but hickory not so much. So I'm going to sand the other side off a little bit, heat this in the forge, burn it on both sides, and then stain it. Then, of course, linseed oil it, but we'll have to do that tomorrow since the stain has to sit for 24 hours. Yay! Vibe check.